I'll take 10-minute jobs that take an hour for 400, Alex.
There you
go. Okay, so this sucker, it's a perfectly good Chinese heater. Okay, it's just developed a little maintenance problem that happens over time, especially if you don't shut them off manually, if you just let them shut down from an error, you know, like running out of fuel or your battery going dead. Because the problem that creates is when that happens, it doesn't go through a whole shutdown cycle, so it doesn't clean itself out all the way. The result of that is you clog up the air bleed hole on the fuel intake. I'm going to show you how to clean that and get you going again. And then I'm going to swap this unit out for number 2, which is in the forward half of my trailer. It's developed a different problem in the same manner. I'm pretty sure it's got a clogged burn chamber. So I'm going to get this sucker running, show you how to get this sucker running again. We'll take it out, we'll hook it up and test fire it real quick. And then in the next video, and then I'll swap it out. And in the next video, I'll do a full tear down and deep clean on the one that I'm swapping out to show you how to do that. Alrighty, so I've kind of cheated a little bit. I'm not going to make y'all sit here and watch me back out a bunch of fucking 9-mile long screws and shit. Okay, so when you get to this point, all you do is you just take out your glow plug. It's a good time to look at it. Okay, see how it's pretty clean. Okay, but look up here where, I don't know if it's showing on the camera or not, but if you look up here, the threads look wet. That's unburnt diesel. Okay, that means we're not lighting correctly. Another dead giveaway. See if you can get that soot. That soot there in the hole where the glow plug came out of, that came out with the glow plug. If there's soot there, that means we are not lighting correctly. Now, there's 2 ways we can do this. There's an easy way where we don't got to tear it down any further. And then there's what I consider the correct way because it makes it easier to see what you're doing. I've already loosened up the 4 screws that hold the burn chamber in. I'm just going to spin those out with my fingers. Another thing I love about these units is you can't, even though all the screws are the same size, you can't mix them up because the ones for the burn chamber are a lot shorter than the ones for the blower. So there's 4 Allen head screws. I'm probably going to have to use the tool for that one just because I have sausage fingers. And this one. So when you're doing this, the gaskets on these are, for the most part, reusable. You just have to be careful taking everything apart. And even if you do fuck them up, it's not a disaster because you can get replacement gaskets on Amazon. Matter of fact, I think a complete overhaul kit for one of these with all new gaskets, new glow plug, can't remember what else all is in there, but it's basically enough to where, it's enough shit to where if your blower is good and you haven't melted your outer housing, you can completely rebuild your furnace. Okay, you want to grab here and support while you lift that just straight out. That's our burn chamber. Okay, so now I can actually start showing you how this thing works. You got a glow plug up here. When you're first starting the unit, that glow plug gets up to where it's glowing red freaking hot, and it hangs down far enough that your fuel is coming in about halfway up your glow plug. So when you start your unit and it's starting to light, your fuel gets pumped into this tube onto that glowing hot glow plug. The whole time there's air blowing in through these fins at the back all the way through this chamber. When the incoming fuel gets hot enough, it auto ignites on the glow plug and the air blowing through gets it burning and keeps it burning. Once it can sustain a flame, which is determined by this flame sensor right here on the back of the main housing, it shuts off the glow plug, and from there on out, your fire is maintained just from the constant stream of fuel coming in and the air. What fucks you up though and makes those hellacious smoke shows like I showed you in the intro is right here. That gob of shit is actually a hole. The purpose of that hole, because this entire chamber is pressurized with air, okay, the purpose of that hole is it lets enough air bleed in around the glow plug that the first few squirts of diesel that come in actually have enough air to get them kicked off. When it sits there smoking like that, what's going on is you got screaming hot diesel coming, you got diesel coming in, hitting that glow plug, and it's hot enough to light, but it's not getting enough air. We going?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to move this out of the way here. So cleaning out that air hole, unfortunately, requires a really expensive, really hard to get specialty tool. A piece of wire. So all you do is you just take your wire, you clean off the shit from around the outside. Oh boy, that bitch is really fucking crusty. It can be kind of hard to do sometimes because these things will get really, there we are. That's it. Now there is a metal mesh screen in here that kind of helps diffuse the diesel as it comes in, but it doesn't start until about here. So as long as you're careful, you can run your wire in and out of that hole if you're really good, or if you take your trusty Gerber. I'm telling you, the only multi-tool worth buying is a Gerber suspension. Okay, that's my opinion, of course. Your mileage may vary, but I've always had a thing. I love Gerber's warranty, and living in Washington State, they're just made down in Oregon, so if I have to warranty one out, it only takes about a week for the new one to get here. So you throw a little bend in the end there. See, now you can really get in there. Okay, I'm going to have Noah kill the camera, and then I'm going to slap this sucker back together. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to hook it up to one of my harnesses and pumps that I already have set up outside. And I'm going to show you the difference in starting. I'm not going to do anything else to it other than just put it together. Before any safety Nazis decide to critique my install, shut the hell up. It's not installed. We're just test running it. Okay. I'm going to try to fire it up with the remote for the controller that I've got it hooked to. Got it hanging right here off my belt. Oh, come on. If you can get the one with the remote that takes 2 AAA batteries, it's a great setup. There it goes. But kind of a pain in the butt. Okay, so the fan on this one has always been a little bit noisy, but everything runs the way it's supposed to. So, right now, she's preheating the glow plug, getting everything ready to go. Like I said, I don't want to hear it about the bullshit install because it's not a freaking install. It's just hooking everything up to make sure we got her cleaned out good enough to run. Coolest part of this is if I don't, you're never going to know because I'm just going to shut it down, go tear it apart and clean it again and reshoot this sequence. Okay, so we're getting a little bit of smoke. That's just old fuel that was stuck in the burn chamber. Blue smoke is okay. You just don't want to see that nasty white stuff. We haven't and it hasn't kicked on the pump yet. So right now there's no fuel going into the burn chamber. It's just burning off what was already there. Plus, oh, here's our pump. There goes the air bubble. Let's see what happens. either going to start puking out white smoke again. No, that doesn't look good. Well, maybe. Are you serious? Ugh. Cocksucker's trying. God damn it. Okay. So when that happens, just grab your fuel line and pull it off, because what's happening there is it's flooding the burn chamber, and the more it gets flooded, the more of a pain in the ass it is to straighten out. Normally, when I'm doing this, I have an extra... Hang on a minute. Where did I... God damn it. Oh, listen. She's trying to light, okay? It's actually starting to burn off the excess fuel. That could have happened, honestly, just from all the fuel that was stuck in there, because part of the problem that these things getting dirty creates is trying to get them to light when they're dirty. There we are. Trying to get them to light when they're dirty can actually cause the burn chamber to flood like an old school carburetor. And once that happens, it can be hard to get them to get going again. So I'll be back in a few minutes. I'm going to run this for a little bit, let it get cleaned out, let everything get warmed up and happy, and then I'm going to shut it down and I'll start it up again. All right, Noah, go ahead and hit it.
It's on.
I know it's on. Okay, so what I did was I unhooked the fuel line. That got it to kick off, and then I let it just burn off all the excess fuel that was still left in it. And Noah just turned on, well, he just turned it on from the controller inside because my remote's being a pain in the ass. Ah, shit. Yes, I picked up smoking again. I don't want to hear it. Okay. It's just been that kind of year. I'll still try not to do it in camera on this channel. Of course, if you let your kids watch my stuff, there's seriously something wrong with you. We're just waiting for the fuel. Oh, and there we are. First drop of fuel hits that freshly cleaned screen and glow plug, and off she goes. So just like that, you know, I went from spewing the nasty white death in the intro to a nice clean startup, and all I did was take a couple minutes and pick the crud out of that air hole. So I'm going to let this one run a while, just because I don't really like starting them just to turn around and shut them off again. I feel like it's not good for cleanliness of the burn chamber or really anything, because I don't like how fast it warms up and cools off when you do that. So I'm going to let it run for a while, and then I'm going to swap it out for the one that's installed in the house here, so that I can give it a proper tear down and cleaning, because it's gotten to the point where it needs a full-on service. So that'll be in the next video. Till then, good boy, Scrappy, and I'll see you all. So that video is a perfect example of the trials and tribulations of trying to train a new cameraman. That's Noah, Katie's boyfriend. You'll get to see him eventually. For now, I just wanted a better wrap up to that video. You know, they didn't have everything cutting off too soon. Besides that, I'm getting ready to record a fresh podcast episode. It gives me a chance to check out all my equipment. So, in the meantime, good boy Scrappy. And I'll see you next time after I get done tearing down and cleaning that other furnace. Have a good one, y'all.